Peeps, what is up? Pilot Pete back. For those who don't know me, my name is Peter. I'm a 767 driver, and I got asked a bunch of times on my comment section to do a vlog. So I'm gonna give it a shot as my first one. So be kind. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm gonna give it my best effort. Anyway, so today's trip starts out of my new base, which is Indianapolis, Indiana. Since I'm based there, even though I don't live there, it's my job to get myself there. So I'm gonna be doing what a lot of pilots in the industry do, which is called commuting. And I'm gonna be jump seating or asking another airline for a ride to the base. So I'm about to finish packing my suitcase, gonna get an Uber. Thankfully, my company indirectly pays for that transportation, so that's a huge benefit for me living here in the city with no car. Gonna get to the airport, ask for a ride. The flights as of right now are pretty wide open, shouldn't be a big deal. I'm gonna fly out of this airport right here, LaGuardia, and head over to Indy. So hope you come along for the ride, hope you enjoy it, and hopefully you can see some cool stuff, all right? Currently cruising down the Midtown Tunnel on my way to LaGuardia Airport in the Uber. Thankfully, like I mentioned earlier, my company pays for the transportation since I have enough money in my travel bank, and this is a work-related trip to get to work. Since I live in New York City and don't have a car, it makes it super convenient for me to have the company pay for the Ubers to and from the airport. So on my way to LaGuardia, stopped and picked up a quick deli sandwich. Plenty of time to get to LaGuardia. Flight's in about 45 minutes. Got a seat, easy peasy, plenty of open seats on this flight to Indy. Now I just gotta check in with the flight deck. Protocol is to, make sure you ask for the ride for the seat with the captain. So I'm about to do that. I got 7C, so not too shabby. Ain't no PD lay flats first class, but for a free flight, for a free ride, it'll do. So about to chill and relax on my commute to Indy. Just landed in Indianapolis. Commute is over. Simple, easy flight. Took a little nap, read a little book, and I'm in Indy. So now I just gotta get from the passenger terminal over to our flight planning operations center, and then I'm going to change into my uniform, and then the trip officially starts. So this is when the interesting, fun, enjoyable workday begins. Just got to our flight ops center in Indianapolis. One of the cool things that we have here are these little sleep rooms that they provide for the crew members when they're working. So little twin size bed, controlled air conditioning, a reading light, and just a place to kind of change, relax, lay down, nap if you're tired prior to your flight. So it's a really cool and unique thing that not any other airline that I've ever worked for has had before. So these sleep rooms are great in helping us crew members not be fatigued for our flight. So I have about 2 hours until my actual show time for my flight. There's a gym up here too. I'm gonna change into my workout clothes, get a quick workout in, and then come back down, use the showers they have for us, fresh towels, and then change into my uniform and get ready for my actual work day. So the official work day hasn't started yet, although I had to commute to work, so it's kind of a little bit extra time, extracurricular, but this trip is a good trip for me. Going from Indianapolis to Boston is our first leg. I'll kind of keep you posted on those legs and just keep showing you some day in the life stuff. I just got on the plane. All the pre-flight checks are complete. Reviewed our flight plan, and just waiting for everything to be buttoned up, and we're ready to go off to Boston. First leg, Indy to Boston, about an hour and 35 minutes en route. They blocked us at 2 hours. Shouldn't be too bad of a ride. There's our flight plan today. Starting in Indianapolis, heading to the east and then north around that little bit of weather over to Boston. One thing that air traffic control gives us are these departures or SIDs, standard instrument departure. So today we're doing the Mario 5 departure, and there's instructions basically on how we fly it. It's basically a way for air traffic control to get airplanes from the airport out into the terminal area and then en route to their destination. So just a way to flow traffic to make everything safe and more seamless. So doing the Mario 5 departure today, we'll be flying this route here and then up to our first fix Mario B-Rock, and then on our route up to Boston. It was my leg, Indianapolis to Boston, 35,000 feet, just under 600 miles an hour. Good ride, good weather. But you can tell here in just a second, as we descend into Boston, we ended up getting slowed down and then vectored all around the city. And that's because the vice president was landing in Boston. So when that happens, they actually stop all air traffic from departing and taking off. So we had delay, circle around the city, but then came in and landed runway 4 right, no problem. And I would say it was probably about a 7.8 out of 10 landing today. Just finished the flight from Indianapolis to Boston. Good flight, but it was supposed to be only an hour and 35 minutes, turned into just over 2 hours. And that's because there was a VIP on the airfield coming into land. So the vice president was in Boston, but Boston Logan Field this evening. So when that happens, when they're coming into land or taking off, no airplanes can move around the airport. So we were just coming in on approach, and then air traffic control basically had us holding over the airport at like 9,000 feet for about almost 35 minutes. So we had enough fuel to do that, so it was no problem. The weather was fine. And then once the aircraft was taxied in, obviously there's a bunch of airplanes stacked up. We had to wait our turn and then landed, no problem. It was my leg. First landing in about, I don't know, I think it was like 19 days I've been off. 7.3 out of 10 I would have given myself. I didn't ask the captain what they would have rated me, but 7.3 out of 10, I thought I was pretty good. Landed runway 4 right, and then about a 15-minute taxi into the ramp because of all the aircraft activity and all the movement. But anyway, we have what was supposed to be a 4-hour layover. So we get a hotel in Boston. It's only going to be about an hour and a half now because of the delay. We were a little bit late leaving Indy, and then the VIP having to wait for the vice president. So just enough time to grab a quick bite to eat, to put the World Series on, game 4, I believe. And yeah, back in uniform, and then one more leg for my trip from Boston to Newark. So hopefully talk to you on board here in a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Flight 1026, service from Boston to Newark's Liberty International Airport. My name is Peter, I'm your pilot today. Taking off of runway 9 at a Boston quick taxi, and then we departed using the PAT 6 RNAV departure. First fix Claw, then Fenway, then Gillette. All of you Bostonians and New England fans, I'm pretty sure, Come on, sirens. I'm trying to record here. This is nonsense. Dedham, then Pats. And cruising altitude was 16,000 feet, just under 500 miles an hour. Beautiful night. So I got to look over out the window and see BDL, Hartford, Bristol, the Whale of Westport. Passed over Marist College. Shout out to the Red Foxes. And then into New Jersey. Born and raised New Jersey in here, as we got vectored for our visual approach to the ILS runway 4 right. So here are the approaches that we did. First, starting with the Star Standard Terminal arrival, Filosi 4 RNAV arrival into Newark. A little bit of shortcut after Kingston, direct to Shaft, and then we started slowing us down as we circled south of Newark, getting ready for the approach. Vectored on for the visual back to the ILS to runway 4 right. About 180 knots, they had us intercept the glide slope and the localizer. After we touched down runway 4 right, exited around Papa 3, clearance across runway 4 left, and then about a 10-15 minute taxi back into our gate. So we shut down one of the engines to save some fuel, had to stop a little bit for a second, taxiing behind a 777, and then our trip was done. Just landed in Newark, trip's all done. Quick flight from Boston, cruised at 16,000 feet. Easy peasy, used my leg to monitor, and landed in Newark and just got an Uber heading back to the city. So technically my trip is done because the trip actually ends tomorrow with a deadhead from Newark back to my base in Indianapolis. But since I live in New York, I can deviate. The airline ticket money that they purchase for me gets reimbursed into my travel bank, and I can use that for travel. So I'm using it to get myself home right now on an Uber. So I basically get paid for 2 days of work and only have to work one, which is super nice, obviously. So I'm off for the next 6 days. It's midnight Thursday morning technically. So go home, get some sleep, and then off for the long weekend. So yeah, that's my first little vlog, day in the life. Hope it was okay. I'll edit this together and hopefully it makes a little bit of sense. But as always, comments, questions below, DM me on Instagram, and hope to do another one of these pretty soon. All right, see ya. Walked in my apartment, finally all done for the evening officially. I just had to make a funny added video for this because my actual street is closed. They're doing some construction, so the Uber had to drop me off like a block and a half, and I had to walk. And as I'm walking in my uniform, someone rolled down their window in their cab and said, "It's not Halloween, jackass." So I thought that was kind of funny. It was a nice welcome home to New York. So quarter to 1 a.m. I'm exhausted, long day. But again, an easy trip for me, relatively speaking, because I get paid for 2 days of work and I'm home a day early. Don't have to deadhead back to base since the trip ended in Newark. So all in all, good days of work, good flights, nice captain, and no complaints. So again, hope you enjoyed it and hope to do this again soon. Comments, questions below, and bedtime for me. See ya.